In this video, I want to go over some basic types of functions. Sometimes we even call them families of functions, because they will be important through your calculus career, and we will be using them in calculus 1, 2, and 3 classes, and of course more than that as well. So the basic functions definitely we want you to know is constant functions like y equals k. For example, y equals 2 will look like this. Basically, it means the height is 2 and it's a constant. So at any input, the output is 2. Makes sense. Then, what's happening if y equals x? Then the function looks like this. Also, don't be afraid if we ask you to imagine something like y equals 2x. Then still 0 is 0, but the slope will be different. In this case, it grows faster. Versus 1/2 x will go slower, and so on. Now I want to go and ask you, if y equals x is in blue color in front of you, what will look like y equals absolute value of x? It's still a line like this, but now it cannot go down because y cannot be negative. All positive and negative inputs for x should be positive, should give positive outputs. That's why it looks like this, two hands looking up. Then the parabola, of course, y equals, say, x squared. That's the one that looks the most basic way. At 0 it is 0, it's not shifted up and down, and also it's concave up. Versus, I'll write like this. There's an a in front. Versus y equals, let's say it this way. So if a is positive, then the parabola is concave up and it has global minimum. If a is negative, then the parabola will be concave down. It will look like this and has global maximum, in this case at 0, 0. So that's very handy to remember. And those two are together. Of course, there are more types of parabolas, which are ax squared plus bx plus c. And it's just it will look kind of the same, but it might be stretched or shrinked, shifted to the left, right, and so on. Same idea with a. If a is positive, concave up, a is negative, concave down. To find the vertex, you actually have a formula for that. X equals minus b all over 2a. That's the location of the vertex. Find x for the vertex. Vertex is this global maximum, global minimum for the parabola. When you find x using this formula, plug it into original function and get the y coordinate. Now, how to undo x squared? You usually apply square root, right? So that's the next function to ask about. Y equals square root of x. That's the inverse function for the parabola. Do you remember how to create the inverse function? I'll remind you. We draw y equals x, and now you know how this function looks like. I just reviewed. And I'm using it as a mirror. And I'm mirroring your function like this. And that creates the graph of the inverse, in this case square root of x. But you also have to be careful with the domain. Since y cannot be negative for y equals square root of x, that's why it starts from 0, increases, slowly goes like this. That's y equals square root of x. Know this function, know the domain, starts from 0 to infinity. Now, after this, let's review two well-known functions called 1 over x, y equals 1 over x, and y equals 1 over x squared. 1 over x has two asymptotes, horizontal and vertical, because at 0 it's infinity, and also limit at infinity is 0. So it has asymptote both at y equals 0 and x equals 0, horizontal and vertical asymptotes. But if I'm squaring the denominator, then output now cannot be negative. So instead, both hands will go up. Make sense? After this, let's review the couple, which you know really well, called logarithmic function and exponential functions, which always go together, of course, because these are inverse to each other as well. Exponential function y equals e to the x looks like this, goes through 0, 1, and grows up very fast. Now, y equals ln x, and of course I mean also a to the x in log ax. The general cases. How to create the inverse function? Yes, you know now. We create the mirror first and then draw the other function using y equals x as a mirror, or basically the line axis of symmetry. So log goes up super fast first and then slows down and becomes super slow. That's my log function. What else do we need to know? We also should review just more little functions, a little bit left, as sine and cosine. Sine, cosine, and tangent. Actually, that should be quite enough. Y equals sine x is the one that starts from 0. Remember, sine is 0. That's why when you always get confused which one goes up first and which one is not, think about that. Cosine at 0 is 1, sine at 0 is 0. So sine is a wave that goes through 0, 0. Cosine at 0 is 1. So it looks like this. Both still waves, and of course they have different roots at pi over 2 and so on. Both periodic. One more last function is tangent. Y equals tangent x. Tangent x. Tangent looks like kind of a cubic function. Oh, I just realized we need to cover cubic function too. Like this, but in cubic functions keep growing and decaying forever, versus this guy, tangent. This one has infinitely many vertical asymptotes, which you, as you remember, cannot cross. So it's happening over here and over here. Where do they happen? At pi over 2. Do you remember why? Because tangent x is sine x over cosine x. How to find vertical asymptote? You ask yourself where the derivative is 0, right? Derivative is 0 for cosine at pi over 2, not derivative. Denominator is 0. Denominator is 0 here, where cosine is 0. And it's happening at pi over 2 and all other shifts by pi over 2. So it's keep having those vertical asymptotes, pi over 2, minus pi over 2, and so on. Keep adding. So these three go together because they are trigonometric functions. Exponential and log go together, inverse to each other. 1 over x and 1 over x squared. Lonely standing square root of x, which came out from the quadratic function. And I will add one more over here. So y equals k. K here is a constant. Y equals x. Y equals absolute value of x. And then I will add 1 over here. The cubic function. How about that one? Y equals x cubed. It looks like a chair. Remember about that. It looks like a chair, like this, but it keeps growing forever. That's the difference. It keeps growing forever, and it doesn't have any asymptote, even though it looks like tangent. So it's keep going like this, like this, like this. It doesn't have any shapes here that stops it from growing. Make sense? So that's my cubic function, but looks like a chair. You can sit on it. Some people even make it sharper if you want, like this. Now, why do we need this? Because at some point we'll be asking you, for example, to find the area between graphs and stuff like that. So we do expect you to remember all these functions. For example, if we want to ask to find the area between y equals cosine x and sine x, and you don't have your graphing calculator with you, don't freak out. You kind of know what's going on now, because all those functions, yes, it takes time to learn, but at some point you become very proud that you know that. Cosine at 0 is 1, looks like this. Sine at 0 is 0, looks like this. So we're talking, let's keep going. So we're talking about some kind of this area and so on. Maybe I can ask you to have parabola concave up instead of sine, right? Y equals x squared. And it will even look something like this. Instead of going down, parabola will go up and so on. So now you know how to use this. In calculus 3 we'll go even higher dimensions. We're gonna go into 3D. It will look amazing. It will be like this. We're gonna have x, y, and z axis. And then the same thing, we're gonna ask you to build a parabola for x-axis and z-axis. Then we're gonna ask you to build a plane with different color. And the plane will be cutting, for example, like this. And then we're gonna say it's all rotating, so that's actually a cup. And then you know the plane makes a cut, and then we're gonna ask you to calculate this cut, and it's gonna be super, super, super extremely interesting. You will feel yourself like a genius engineer calculating all those areas, volumes, and so on. So keep studying, review some simple materials like this, and don't be afraid to admit that you forgot something. That's completely fine, but the more you review, the better you remember it. Thank you for watching.